I mean, Gwen's story in the comics comes before Mary Jane, and it affects him in a very, very deep and meaningful way, what happens in his relationship with Gwen, obviously, before he's with Mary Jane. So I think the fact that he tells her that he's Spider-Man, and I think you saw in that clip where she says every day, my father goes to work and he straps a gun on his hip, that breaks her heart, and that's why she is so in control and has to be so responsible. And I think the fact that she's drawn to a man who does the same thing, and she has to keep his secret for him while her own father is against him, is a pretty major element. So she's very much in love with Peter, and that's in spite of him being Spider-Man, not because of it.
Yeah. And the Captain Stacy, Dennis Leary, seems like it's a really pivotal role in this. Could you guys talk a little bit about that?
Sure, Captain Stacy. Well, I think there's a relationship that Peter Parker has with the. I mean, when you're making a movie, you have to give your protagonist obstacles, and then there's the villain. But I think one thing that's really interesting in some of the comics that I found was that there was a sort of adversarial relationship at certain times with the police, and that is embodied by Captain Stacy. And you know, again, one of the great things in drama is competing ideas of what's good. So you have two people who whose heart is in the same place and trying to do the right thing and trying to find justice, but they have different ways of achieving that, and there's great conflict there. And I think that there's an argument between them, the sort of philosophical difference that they have to sort of sort through. And that was, I think, a really appealing thing to dramatize in the film. I think that's something that we haven't seen before.
And at the same time, he happens to be the father
yes.
of the girl that Peter digs, which is hard enough.
Yeah.
You know, when the girl brings you home for dinner, it's hard enough normally. But when that person turns out to be
somebody who's chasing you
the captain
with a gun,
who is after you, it complicates things.
And Matt, you know,